So on this day in 1960, the FB Holder. Now the FB was just the prefix. Holder was the suffix. Prefix was the bit that have different ones. And now I got confused after about the VL, I think. The FB Holden vehicle was released in Australia in 1960. So we found someone who is that local Sam Princi from the FBEK. Now EK followed the FB. It's just a designation. In fact, I forgot to ask him why the designation, Dave. You did you? FBEK Car Club, to ask him, what was it all about. And this is pretty well how the conversation went. So, Sam, 1960, the FB Holden was released. Were everyone excited by this? Was it a different shape? What was the reaction to the public?
Oh, it was a great reaction, I think. Everyone was very excited, especially after the release of the FC, and then the third generation FB came along. People were still very excited, and it dominated the Australian motoring landscape. They had 80% share of the market, so yeah, people were very excited.
They were the days when you said 80%, weren't they?
Oh yeah, look, if you look at old photos, on the street you can really see every 8 out of 10 cars is a Holden. It was amazing.
Why do you like the FB?
I think it's about the styling, obviously the Finn-inspired sort of, cars from America as well. But I think it's just the look of the car, the fins, the front, the chrome, the inserts. It's just the overall look, really.
A lot of people say the EH was the best one, in the old days, that the Holden people produced. You one of those people who agree with that, or would you prefer the FB?
No, I think it was just an advancement in technology, and why I guess people these days look back on that particular model fondly. But I think back in its days, it was still a marvelous car when you compare it to, some of the English cars, or some of, even the American cars just weren't suited to our conditions. And when you realise the conditions back then, the roads were all pretty potholed.
Yeah, pretty all that they are now, really. Yes. Tell me, did the EK have power steering? Because I drove an earlier, I think it was an FE or an FC without power steering, and I cannot believe anyone thought that was acceptable. So did they have power steering in the EK?
No, they didn't.
Really?
At all. And the FB as well, the EK had electric wipers, but the FB certainly had vacuum wipers, and it's quite hilarious when you drive one of those in the rain, because as you're going up the hill, they're going slower. And when you go down the hill, they go faster. So you're constantly adjusting the speed. So I think that was one of the little flaws in the FB. But
was there ever a V8 EK or FB?
No, not the EK. I think they started working, I think it was when they started working on the HD, which was about 62, which was about that time. There was some plans for obviously the bigger engines, but they were never really going with the V8. I think they were just looking at bigger sixes.
Now with your club, I dare say you'll be celebrating the FB since it was released today in 1960. What do your people all do? Do you sort of go off to country towns and harass the locals and fill up the hotel? It's like that, is it?
Once a year we have the FB EK Nationals, and that's a national event where all the clubs around Australia gather in a different location each year, and that's a really wonderful event. There's lots of people and lots of cars.
Where's it happening this year?
It's happening out at Cowra, so it's always on the June long weekend.
Oh, okay.
And they'll be out there, and there'll be lots of different things this year. Our club is running it, and we are just, introducing a bit more of a family atmosphere and a few other little surprises. So, it's always a good event, and this year's event.
Sam, the clubs tend to attract mental people. Are there many mental people in your club? You know what I mean? The sort of ones, he's here. Oh, g'day, how are you going, Ron? How's the car? How many people, no, seriously, you don't have to give me names. How many would turn up, do you think? What percentage? 30%?
Look, there's, it's a social club, and some people take it a bit further than others, but yes. I wouldn't say they're mental, but they're very passionate and very enthusiastic.
The line between passionate and mental is very fine. I know, having sort of followed steam trains around the place at a distance, there are some people who know everything, and they tell you every time. Oh, this was so-and-so, of course, that was so-and-so, and you think, Yeah, right. And they keep going on and on. They have little cameras all over them and badges and funny hats and what have you. They're generally quite overweight. Not there's a problem with that. And they talk at the top of their voice and they won't go away. Do you have any of those people there, do you?
No, we don't. But I must say, I myself are quite passionate about the history of Holden. I think my wife thinks I'm a bit obsessed, but...
Oh, so you might be in that category, might you, Sam?
I might be, yeah. Look,
oh, dear.
I do like...
You do hear from your wife occasionally, do you?
Oh, look, when I start talking about Holden, she falls asleep. But I think, look, everyone's different. And for me, I enjoy that stuff. And, and there are people out there that do like to talk about those things and just little things, like on the ID tag, there might be a random letter. What does that mean?
Yeah, I understand.
There's a big discussion about that.
Yeah, I understand. How many of the FBs are left in good condition?
Oh, look, that's debatable. There was 174,000 of them made at the time, roughly. So if you calculate, about 20% of those would be still left?
Yeah, how many have you got?
I've only got one FB, but we've also got an EJ Premier, which we're quite fortunate to have those.
And when you say we, your wife is fully for this, is she, or does she have a proper car of her own, does she?
She has a family car because we've got a little baby.
Yeah.
That's important. But,
yeah. Do you think the baby will grow up to be normal or become an FB fanatic, do you think?
Well, I do go take her in the shed and I sit in the car and I talk to her about the cars. And
yeah, you get them while they're young, isn't that true?
That's right. Train them up.
All right, let us know, by the way, when you have this thing at Cara again. We'll have a chat with you again later in the year, all right?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Thanks, Sam, and happy birthday for your car.
Thank you.